Cruces Women's Choir is the longest-running feminist choir in the United States. We are a singing group, but we also love it when women come who really are enthusiastic about the issues, about singing, who bring a real enthusiasm for being together and for working. So one's spirit and one's inclinations are equally important as their voices.
Obviously, everyone who's part of the choir loves to sing and has some singing background, but I think some women haven't had the opportunity. So I think it's a healthy mix of people who love to sing and aren't formally trained, and some very skilled musicians, music teachers, and women who are, really gifted.
We have singers who are very new to singing and are really growing in the vocal. But when they came in, they had just a lot of enthusiasm and just jumped right into making it work. Because we're a socialist group. I mean, we really require everybody to carry some of the burden. So I'd say that that's one of the things I love about this choir, is that we help people grow vocally. I think we all learn differently, and I work with high school kids, and I love to get young people to sing because there's so much in their voices that they haven't even begun to explore. And I keep telling them, you're the instrument. I want them to explore more of who they are through the sound that they make. So in that sense, I think music is very important in the educational world.
I went to a little country school. There were 32 in my graduating class. For some reason, we had a fabulous music department. Somebody, long before I was a part of that school, thought that music was important. We had a full orchestra. We had, of course, a band. We had many ensembles, choruses. It was just a wonderful thing for me, because I don't think I would have, you begin wherever you begin, and you flourish with whatever is around you, and that really was it. All that is to say, music education is so important, as much as it's lost in so many of our schools now. It's a shame.
I think sometimes we feel that learning is just about kind of a collection of facts and very linear sort of thing. I think that sometimes music helps us to come in the back door. It sort of softens us to other things. When you don't have an arts curriculum, or if you don't have something where they're using a different part of their brain and different parts of their body, I think you're really cutting off a whole lot of who we actually are. And music is a very academic subject. I mean, there's, when you're talking about music theory, there's a kind of a magic to the way music theory works. And I think that if you have a patience to learn that and learn all the sort of the technical aspects of it, for me, it's really fun. It's like a puzzle. But you're using all the same stuff that you're using in other academic classes, but you're doing it in a kind of a context of a different kind of aesthetic. So I think it rounds us out.
I think music is about the best vehicle to get people's attention and get people involved, and to lift your hearts. I think there's art and there's lots of other ways of doing that, but I think music and singing is just a joy and a way to really reach out and connect with people and issues.
It is an expression. It is a means of expression and creativity, and a means of nurturing your whole being, I think, to be able to have that expression. It may not be music for everyone, but it's something. If I had grown up in a different situation where music wasn't a part of my school experience, my life would be undernourished and not nearly as rich and wonderful as it is.
Singing is the ultimate sort of connecting sport. You don't have to be a beautiful singer to be part of a beautiful experience. And I think that just lifts us. I think it's very uplifting, but I think it's very important. And I think that when we cut that out of our, because of budget constraints and things like that, it's very short-sighted.
Hi, I'm Michelle Wu. You're watching MiND TV, the only station bringing you programming made for you, by you, representing your community and telling your stories. Become a member and get your voice heard. Don't wait. Show your support for MiND TV today.
It's the Who Mag document, it ain't no stopping what the Bronx got poppin'. Commence to up rockin'. Legendary DJs, old school's the key phrase. Lace up your BKs, take it to the PJs. But never mind rap, we're rapping what's behind that. Sedgwick and C to the spot where you can find that. Pure hip hop, forget about it, throw back. Get a blank tape, hit record and let's go back. The Who Mag hip hop document.
Master Rob gave me the name Busy B. He was Kevy Cav's brother. We was the 3 MCs that rock you to your knees. Kevy Cav, Robbie Rob, Busy B, Starsky. And Robbie Rob gave me the name Busy B because every time they was looking for me, I was somewhere doing something. I ain't got no business. He said, yo, you a busy guy. I'm gonna call you Busy B, man, because you a busy B. And then I spelled it like the B-U-S-Y, the B-E-E. I said, yeah, that sound butter. I'm gonna keep that, Rob. Yeah, that's Busy B. Starsky is in the building. So I just dropped off the Starsky and just kept Busy B. And they called me the Chief Rocker because I was always rocking houses. They said I was the chief. Chief is in here now. He gonna rock the house. So that's how I was doing. Chief Rocker, Busy B, and that's how I got down. I've been doing hip hop since 1977, and Grandmaster Flash, Mean Gene Theodore, and Melly Mel and Kid Creole with the Keith Cowboy. They really put me on to the hip hop. I was listening to them, and it only took like a matter of weeks before I really said, well, that's what I'm gonna do, not knowing that at that time we'd be establishing something that we would be calling hip hop. My thing is that going to a club, party, or whatever you have, and everybody's on the dance floor listening to their favorite beat, and I grab that microphone, and I do something special with a microphone. I mean, I'm sorry to say, not to be trying to brag or nothing, but I do something special with a microphone. I guess it's my voice, or I'm not afraid, and that's it as well. If I'm not afraid to be what I am, and I am hip hop. I am the first solo MC in hip hop, period. You know, when they came out, they had Melly Mel and Kid Creole and Cowboy. There was 3 MCs. Breakout had Cake. Breakout really didn't have an MC as such as me, because I was Breakout MCs for a while too, but then he went and got KK and Keith. He had to get 2 MCs. The L Brothers used the Kevy Cav and Robbie Rob. So it wasn't they had Hollywood, but he was a disco MC, and he was a DJ at the same time. His name was DJ Hollywood. You had Lovebug Starsky, but he was DJ Starsky at the same time. He did rap, but he rapped and DJ. He was better known as a DJ. I am Busy B, the first solo MC in hip hop, and that's the bottom line. Go see the movie Wild Style. And then as you see that, you'll develop your culture of hip hop, and then you'll see various rappers come up. At the same time, you had Grandmaster Cass was a good solo MC as he came up with the Cold Crush Brothers, but then he was a lyricist. Now I won't say solo, he was a lyricist. He was a good lyricist. Now for the newcoming MCs, then we had the Eric B's, we had the KRS-Ones. AJ, Cool DJ AJ broke the game in hip hop because he started a franchise within himself to promote parties and put the guys down, such as the Cold Crush 4, Theodore and the Fantastic, the Force MDs. We found these people and brought them to the culture of hip hop, the Harlem Worlds, the Renaissance ballrooms, the Sparkles and stuff like that. AJ brought some of these people to these places. At the same time, they came, but they didn't get a chance to get on stage until they met AJ. And then how they met him, because of me, I was the big mouth one. I'm the one running around talking on the microphone. That's my man AJ. That's homeboy right there. And then, you know, love brought everything together. But AJ set it off because he was the one that saw maybe something different. Because he did. He saw, yeah, I can promote this. I can put out a party and bring everybody on the card, and everybody can see everybody all the time. Even one week this guy here with these guys, next week we do it over here with these guys and these guys. And AJ did that to where he made me like one of the highest paid MCs back in the days. If I made $150, I was rich within myself. I was happy. A lot of guys was getting $25, $30, $50. If you worked for AJ, you made $400 or $500, but then you might have a 4-man crew. But you was happy to do that because he'll put you somewhere where people can see you and hear what you had to say. And that's the props of hip hop.
Who mag, who mag, who mag, who mag, who mag, who mag. All around the world they be talking about who mag, who mag, who mag.
Seven is the new 14, and 14 is the new 21. 21 is the new 35. 35, you're almost alive. 7 is the new 14, and 14 is the new 21. 21 is the new 35. 35, you're almost alive.
The sippy cups, they do music for children, but I think we want to appeal to the child and the adult as well. So a lot of our music actually is a bit retro in the style, meaning it wants to remind the parents of their youth and the music that they related to when they were young.
We have a lot of writers in this band, and I think that's one of the strengths, and what makes it so interesting is it just gives us a chance for everyone to express a little bit of themselves, and then, you know, we get all this great variety.
Well, we all write music. Allison and Rudy and I are the main songwriters, but Ariana's been writing, and Doug contributes lyrics because he's got all this experience in social emotional learning and environmental learning, and so sometimes we get few messages in there in the background without being too heavy about it.
What I do with my characters is I definitely try to have jokes for the adults. You know, Super Guy is this kind of politically correct superhero, so kids are not going to really get the humor, but, you know, Super Guy's, you know, car runs on peanut butter, and, you know, his clothes are made of compost, and his superpower is using his words. It's a message that the parents appreciate, and also there are jokes that are kind of just for them, so it reaches them on that level. But for the kids, the visual itself and the over-the-topness and the zaniness of it reaches them at their level too.
Everyone, how are you? Excuse me, when the major says, how are you? You'll say, tip-top, major. Let's try that, shall we? How are you? Tip-top, major. Lovely.
The way we approach writing for kids is that we feel that the world of kids in general is this kind of limitless world of imagination, and therefore anything goes. So you can have a song about a jellyfish or a song about a loose tooth, and you don't necessarily have to be writing about human relationship, which seems to be the core of most pop and rock and roll writing. So there's a huge amount of freedom there.
Something in my mouth feeling funny today. I'm moving my tongue, something's in the way. Hey, little tooth, I can feel you sway. I'm a little bit scared, but I guess that's okay.
I love writing songs for kids. I had not written a song in 10, 15 years before I joined this band, and suddenly not having to write about romantic love songs, taking that off the table was like the most wonderful set of blinders I could have imagined.
Totally.
And it's like, oh, there's so many things to write about. And up until then, it was like, well, I can't write, all these love songs have been written, and I'm not any good at writing those, and so therefore I can't write any songs. It's liberating.
It really is. And you can see the whole world and write about things that you normally wouldn't even think. Like a jellyfish. I mean, I wrote a whole song about a jellyfish. I mean, who would have known before when I was writing like songs of heartbreak? Who needs another one of those?
Yeah, there's plenty
of them. You know, we try to make them sophisticated enough that they're not like telling kids what to do, or, you know, we're trying to write with the childlike viewpoint, but in a sophisticated way.
It's been just a riot. It's been really a lot of fun being with these guys. I do a lot of different kinds of music, but I also teach, and I love working with children, and this is just a very special way of interacting with the young audience and bringing music to them, so it's really fun.
Way up all around like you just don't care.
Are you an indie artist looking to showcase your work? To teach people about what you do? No matter what art form or style, you can make programs and share your work with the world. Check out MindTV.org to learn more. I'm Melissa Ferrick, and you're watching MiND TV.
Folk music to me has a lot of storytelling appeal, and that's all. I don't know that much about it, but I remember that it usually has something to do with storytelling, a tale.
As I understand it, folk music is music made more like by community or people for people, as opposed to music that's treated more like a rock star or an icon, where it's kind of elevated. Folk music is more kind of about celebrating everyday people and that kind of thing. So
folk music is a hands-on kind of music. It's a heart music. It's a music that, to me, is a lot of touching.
When I think of folk music, I think of Bob Dylan.
To me, folk kind of means like spiritual, like earthy, hippie-ish to me. Yeah, like the 70s kind of.
I just think of like the people, like from the people, by the people.
Folk music is, well, when I think about it initially, what I think mostly about is traditional old school type of music, real grassroots feel to it, and something that talks about conditions that people are going through. More so than something that's designed for mass market.
Like folk music is the root of a lot of the music you hear today. I mean, it coincides with country music and it coincides with blues. You know, it's been around the same amount of time.
My whole roots is from the folk. The folk means, to me, it means the people. So I've learned from other people how to play different instruments. I learned how to play flute from the people. This is how I got my lessons. I learned storytelling from the people. The people give me their energy, and I give it back to the people.
Gold Coast, salute. I did two, who, tension. Right phase, right phase, right phase, right phase, left phase.
You know, and these are the kids that moms, dads don't have time for. We got some kids that moms, dads do have time for. We got 35 kids and we only got about 4 parents. So our job is to take them kids and make them ours, to save them from getting into the drugs, jail, and things that I went through.
To me, told you a story of who we are and where we came from, and our cultures, our background, our family. So, as far as I'm concerned, folk music to us is Gold Coast Buccaneers.
So it's dance, music, and the song, words, lyrics. And still until today. And this is the thing, we try to keep it like that, so it doesn't disappear. Each wedding, each festival, concert, we have to have the folk music.
So you're constantly interacting with your own people, you're constantly learning your culture. And that interaction leads to a good standing of cultural identity. To be able to have that and to be able to constantly share and also learning from those who are like you of your culture to learn everything that you need to know to pass it down to future generations.
Folk music is music for the people, by the people, from the people, and deeply rooted in the community. It's music with a deeper meaning, music that tells a story.
There was this DJ over in Camden, his name was Tommy Roberts, and he had a little jazz program on WKDN in Camden, and he was able to get the jazz musicians of the day, the famous ones that came to town that were either playing at the Showboat or Peps or the Blue Note, and he was able to get them, I don't know how he did it, but to come, and he had this idea to come, to bring them in on Friday afternoons to the Heritage House, and he called it the Jazz Workshop, and it was specifically for kids to be able to go and see all these famous jazz musicians that they couldn't see in the clubs, you know. So anyway, this one week they were supposed to have Chet Baker and Charlie Parker there, and Chet Baker came, but Bird didn't show up, you know. So Chet did his thing, and you know, the kids got up and played and everything. And after it was over, everybody left, and Barry and I, and then there was another guy with us, and we were putting the chairs, and we had to take 2 chairs at a time, take them upstairs, and then come down and get 2 more. So after one trip upstairs, when I was coming down, I see 2 guys walk in, and one was Charlie Parker. And when I was coming down the stairs, and I wouldn't usually, I was kind of surprised myself when I saw him. I said, "Hey, Bird." I always remembered that, you know, and he looked up, and the next thing I know, the other 2 kids joined me, and we're talking with Bird. And he was with this other guy who I sort of suspected had spent the entire day with him. They came down to Philly on a train or something like this, and this guy was like, had reached a point where he was really impatient, and he was saying, "Come on, Bird, I told you nobody's going to be here, you're late," and this and that, you know, "Let's leave." And Bird said, "No, I don't want to leave, I'm talking with my friends now." He was like really, really nice, you know, which I'm grateful for, because sometimes I've met some of those guys that weren't that way, you know. But anyway, he said to me, it was funny, after we had been talking to him for maybe 5 minutes, he said, "Oh, by the way," he said, "my name is Charlie Parker, and this is my horn." And he sort of introduced us to his horn, you know. We sort of had the feeling like you almost wanted to say, like, "Hi, horn," or something like, yeah, that's the way that he kind of did it. So he said to me, where was I supposed to play? And I said, "Well, it's a room down over there. It's like about 30 feet away." I said, "Over there, but everybody's gone now, and the room is dark." And he said, "Well, I want you to take me to that room." And I said, "Well, there's nobody in there. It's all closed down." He said, "Please take me over to the room." You know, so we walked him over to the room, and when he got inside, he says, "Now you can tell the guy I was here." One of the things, like I said, those things that we had back in the 50s, like that jazz workshop, that only lasted I think it only lasted maybe less than a year, but it was very helpful. And I mean, see, the thing is, jazz wasn't being taught in the schools then. Now you have a lot of things where kids can go. They can go to school. There's all kind of activities where kids are invited to attend clinics and all that, and they get to play and they get to learn. We really had to learn from listening to the recordings. Even most of the teachers that we had as private teachers would teach you how to play your instrument, but they didn't get into improvisation and things like that. So it was a lot of it was learned from playing records and listening to them over and over and trying to cop what was going on and to figure out what changes were being played and stuff like that. I still think that was a good way to learn it, because when you learn it that way, you tend to be able to retain it, because when everything's written out for you, I mean, I've seen a lot of students nowadays, they'll open a real book, you know, and they'll look at a tune and see them 2 years later, and they're still looking at the real book to play the same tune, you know. Well, you know, there were no real books then, and I don't want to sound like one of those guys that say, well, in my day we had to, you know, walk 75 miles to school in the snow, and not that, but the thing was, you really had to learn how to do it by ear, and, you know, and learn, and that way it kind of stuck, you know. It wasn't a thing where you could say, well, anytime I want to know that, I can always get my book and open it up and find out.
MiND invites you to attend one of our monthly audio recording workshops. Any good video producer knows that good audio is just as important as good video. In this workshop, you'll learn how to properly pin a lavalier microphone, how to use handheld and shotgun microphones, and together, we'll capture and edit audio in a video editing program. Sign up today by visiting mindtv.org/training.
Wilmington residents can now sign up for free emergency text and email alerts directly from the Wilmington Police Department. The department can now issue alerts, which will simultaneously call landline phones, send text messages and email, and post to social media. The service is free for subscribers and registration is easy. Simply text your zip code to 888-777 or register online at nixle.com, where you can customize alert settings and choose to receive email and web alerts as well. With Nixle, you know.